What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, and if you are new, welcome too. Today is going to be a little bit more of a raw, off the cuff video. I do have some notes written down, but pretty much the goal of today is to give myself a bit of an after action report, which I don't really see brands do. I see brands talk about like how much money they did, which we will touch on, but I recently had a drop. I didn't do any YouTube promo for the brand. Honestly, I haven't even been talking about clothes on the YouTube channel, and I have been watching the subscribers go, but that's no big deal because going into 2025, I mean, obviously I started this year being a little bit more consistent, but going into 2025, I'm just making the content I want to make. I'm not so locked in. I mean, whatever year when I reached the creator thing, whatever thing that allows you to earn money, that year I was locked in. It was like close, close, close. I knew what was working. We did manufacturing videos. But now we're just going to be doing whatever I want to talk about. I don't know. And today, like I said, we're doing an after action report. 2024 fall season, I dropped the Prismatic capsule with Akoto. Now, this is my biggest drop to date, 100%, no doubts about it. My best drop to date. And I want to talk about what factors made it go well and what factors probably made it struggle a little bit. So, number one, if you haven't even seen the capsule yet, I'm going to go ahead and pop it up right here. This is my first time playing with these styles of clothes in general, these pleated shirts. Now, what I did do is earlier in 2024, I want to say around April, let me double check the date. Wow, I'm really good. So I dropped my first pleated shirt April 26th or sometime around April. I dropped a single color. I dropped it in a single size because it kind of covered a couple different sizes. And I only ordered 30 shirts. So this was really a chance to test the market because I didn't know what was going to happen. I hadn't really dropped clothes or new clothes under my brand in a while. So I'm really just experimenting. At this time, the brand page might have had like 200 followers or so. And when you look at those follower numbers, you don't really know exactly how much purchase support you're going to get. You might get people reposting and comments and likes and stuff, but you kind of want to have a gauge of how many people are actually going to shop and buy this release. So we did that drop. That drop went well. I forget exactly how long it took me to sell out, but it definitely drove up a lot of hype. And also, anytime I say a lot of or anything like that, take it with a grain of salt. Like everything is relative. Everything's relative. So when I say a lot of, I'm talking about in relation to the last drop I did. Now, the prismatic capsule drop was very interesting because I dropped it at pop-ups before I ever dropped it online. So that part was cool. It drove a little bit more energy to it because the capsule was really seeming like something that was harder to get. So 100%, I think that played a factor into why this drop did well for me. And something I'm probably going to implement going into the future is doing local pop-ups to make sure that I'm really taking care of my community first. So these people support me. I'm going to make sure that they have a chance to buy the shirts before they make it online. Also, before I even did that pop-up, I was leveraging my personal brand, my personal Instagram, and was posting mad teasers. So I did have a certain amount of people that were already interested. They knew what colors were coming out and everything like that. So let's get into that first pop-up. Now, first pop-up, that was with my homie Abu. This takes place August 25th. Don't know if I mentioned that. Like I said, this is a really raw video. Now, Abu is clothing brand extraordinaire, owner of Juniverse. If you ever seen one of my videos where I go to Dallas, it's for him. So that pop-up was really cool because it opened up my audience to Dallas, Texas, and like surrounding areas. And then on top of that, I got a chance to really show the brand off to people from scratch. Like they don't know me. So basically we went out there and we did a group pop-up. So we had a big room. I was over in the corner at a table, me and my homie. And I got to meet a bunch of new people that never knew of, heard of Akoto. And I was able to explain the story from scratch. And I'm getting to hear and see people's reactions to touching the clothes, and I get to take all that information in. So we do that pop-up, we come back to the DMV, and then we do another pop-up. I want to say the first weekend of September. So between those two pop-ups, I want to say I did about 14 to 1500 in sales. When I say sales, I'm talking gross revenue. I'm not talking about profit. I have not taken out any expenses yet. Now, mind you, 1500 before we even get into the online drop, to me, that's pretty amazing. I've never been able to do something like that at two pop-ups alone. One of them being out of town while I'm partnering or doing the pop-up with a brand that's much bigger than mine. There's still people coming over, buying and supporting me. So yeah, just to reiterate, two pop-ups, that was a big part of the success of this release, in my opinion. And now let's get into the online release. Now, this is the part that leans more on me. Those first two pop-ups, like I said, one was with a brand that's bigger than mine. The other one was also at a market that had its own audience and following. People that just show up to the market to see what brands and companies are out there. So my online drop was set for September 14th. I think I did the photo shoot September 7th. Now, this is a concern for brand owners. I feel like a lot of times when we get that bulk order in where you spend thousands of dollars to create it, you want to sell it as fast as possible. But we have to remember that fast is not always efficient. For this case, in my opinion, it worked. But I was really inspired when I saw the Chromacopia rollout with Tyler the Creator. And I like the way that he told a story and the content just dripped out to us piece by piece. And you're finding out what everything means. You're getting release dates along the way. So going forward from this release, that's what I'm going to be doing. Just getting more in touch with making the content just as creative in that process as when I'm making the clothes. And you want to be able to give them the credit that the clothes deserve by really rolling it out in a grand way that brings people along for the ride. So I have Instagram up here just so I can be correct in everything I'm talking about. Now, I know that I archived maybe 2 to 3 posts, so I'm going to add 2 to 3 to whatever that is. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so for this release, I want to say I dropped 12 pieces of content. Out of that 12, 2 of them were people wearing it, so like user generated. Thankfully and luckily, I won't even make this a long story, but it's very good when you could get those celebrity placements because it just brings followers, audience, and it makes your brand look cool. You know, a lot of people say they don't need celebrity placements. No, you don't need them, but it is a nice bonus. So luckily, my homie was able to get a shirt to Suki Baby. If you don't know who Suki Baby is, if you ever seen the Drake and 21 Savage Her Lost cover, that's Suki Baby. Then along with Suki Baby, I had an influencer from Texas that bought and wore my shirt. Once again, shout out to the pop-up. If I didn't go to that pop-up, he never would have pulled up, seen my shirt, thought it was cool, buy it. Okay, never mind. I had one more quote-unquote user-generated, my DJ friend Baz. She wore it at a performance, so that totals to 3 people wearing it out and about, not photographed by me necessarily. Now, the rest of my content all came from one photo shoot. I got 5 models. It was very last second, and I even had to be one of those models because when you're a brand owner, you got to do what you got to do. Now, this photo shoot, I'm going to pop the pictures up. There was no particular story besides just showing off the shirts and how it looks on different people, different shapes, different sizes. This was a great photo shoot. It drummed up attention. I appreciate it. I appreciate my friends and those people that helped me. But going back to the whole Chromacopia thing, it's like I know I have this vision and I'm going to execute it. So I'm not going to just, do the more simpler route because it's easier. And I'm trying to get content out to sell this stuff that we just put thousands of dollars into. But even with the one photo shoot, I chopped it up, found different ways to make captions and copy for it. things that targeted guys, things that targeted couples, things that targeted girl groups. We also have behind the scenes. We made a couple of TikToks that follow trends. So I tried to cover as many points as I could, shooting all in one day. Now, what was cool about this drop is that I shot all that stuff. I'm posting it on the lead up, and then I went out of town. So I had to get everything ready. I had to make sure the inventory was counted right. Everything was pulled together. The website was good. And yes, I was out of town on drop day. So I woke up September 14th and I'm literally in Florida. Unlocked the website because I use Big Cartel because it's cheap. And Big Cartel doesn't let you just have like a countdown, and it doesn't let you have the little password lock page. So I had to wake up and just unlock the website and make everything available. Now let's get to talking numbers. I know that's what everybody wants to talk about. And look, I could talk numbers because I do my taxes. It's okay. Don't worry about me. All right, so the stats for drop day. We had 112 visitors on the website, 16 orders totaling to $1,677. Oh my gosh. Drop day was more than both of the pop-ups combined. And that's when you really realize, like, whoa, maybe I can do this for real. Like, the buzz is building up. Now, mind you, once again, I keep talking about it's relative, but I've never done this on a drop day. Like, probably the most I ever done, probably definitely under $500, like in the lower $100 range. Now, mind you, drop day is just drop day. You got to keep pushing it. Going back to my chromacopia thing, I wish I would have created enough content to keep rolling it out and have it look a little bit different so it can constantly be reaching different audiences and it's always looking refreshed. Because drop day, if you don't sell out, you can't just leave it alone. That's what I used to do with my past releases, like my old brand. I would drop, post it, and then you feel like I don't want to post this again because all my followers done seen it. But you know, all these platforms, they have algorithms. You got to post even if your followers seen it because it's going to reach people outside of your followers. So like I said, 1,600 on the first day, but we ended out that month with $2,614. So pretty much after drop day, we did another $1,000 in sales for the next 2 weeks. October, it was less money, but it still kept selling. I was probably doing maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 sales per week. I would just get these random bursts because as people are getting their orders in, they're wearing it and they're posting it online, and now their followers are seeing it. So that was another thing I'm doing. I'm taking every single person that tags me and I'm throwing it right back on the story. I collect those pictures at a certain point once I feel like I have enough of them, and then I do a fan love post where I make a carousel and you can just swipe through everybody, and this creates credibility. It shows people I actually ship my stuff, because that's one thing that will kill a small brand. Make sure you ship out your orders. So I get the credibility in that sense. And then number 2, they get to see how people style it. They get to see how it fits. So now they have more information about which size they should buy. So for all of October, that was $945. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool. And low-key, I probably said that before. But like I said, super raw video. I apologize. I'm probably repeating myself. Going into November. Now, November was a heavy hitter because what happens in November? Black Friday. Look, I know some people are worried about putting their stuff on sale because of how it's going to be perceived, and people were just buying it for full price. Now it looks like this, it looks like that. Do the Black Friday sale because everybody else is doing the Black Friday sale. Do the Black Friday sale because everybody's doing the Black Friday sale. Now, if you want to do a sale some other time during the year, be more strategic about it. Think about it in a way that makes sense for your items to be on sale. But for November, we did $2,793. Black Friday specifically was $878 just on that Friday. Then I got a bunch of sales the day after that and the day after that, I think. So that's going to bring our website sales in total to $6,047. For the pop-up, that's $1,485. And then I made $1,305 selling my shirts to a store. So overall, between those, that's about 8,700, and then we had a couple Lucy sales. So let's round it up to about $9,000. Once again, I'm going to repeat it every single time. This is gross sales. This is not profit. Profit is something completely different that you got to calculate. Because think about the expenses. We had to pay for the photo shoot. The photo shoot, you got to pay for the venue that you're using, the photography studio, photographer. Shout out to all my models. Love y'all. We like this. One day I'm going to be able to pay them super good, but I just paid them in merch, which is something that you still have to count because you paid for those clothes, and now that is a lack of potential sales that you could have been making. But still, money well spent. All right, now for a couple closing points now that we went through the timeline of the drops and everything. Going back to definitely want to diversify the rollouts. I want to have more intention when it comes to creating the reels, the photography, and I want to build up hype, like drip out the information, the release dates, what the colors look like, the story behind the collection and everything like that. Definitely going to get better with the rollouts. Another thing that I want to mention that I had written down that I forgot to talk about, it's push what has natural traction. The very first post that I put up for the whole rollout of the shirts is the one that did the absolute best. Like just naturally, I want to say it ended up having like 600 likes. It was shared around mad times. It was one of those like seamless carousels. I'll pop it up here just so y'all can see. But it took off. I find it crazy because in my head that was supposed to be the teaser. But in reality, that one probably should have been the closer, the thing to announce that it's available. Because at the time I had so many eyes, but the shirts weren't out. But, you know, who could have predicted that that's what was going to happen? But pushing what has the natural traction, even though that was the very first post in the rollout, once the shirts were out, that's what I put ads behind. So rather than just pushing just random photos and not knowing what's going to work, if I know that it's going to work naturally, if I saw what it did, now I'm going to put some money behind it and get it in front of more eyes because I already know how people are receiving it. And in reality, did I make that much sales from it? Not really. So ads is something I'm going to continue to play with and figure out. And looking back on it, I do feel like I don't want to say I dropped too many colors because I dropped 6 styles as you've seen. But when you drop 6 colors or when you drop a lot of colors and styles, some styles are going to end up being left by the wayside. So for me, I had 2 in particular that took off. Like the blue and yellow cap sleeve almost instantly sold out. It was pretty much gone before it even made it online from the 2 pop-ups. Then the green long sleeve, that one did so well that I restocked it while the shirts were out. And probably if it wasn't going into be like such a colder season, I probably would have restocked the blue and yellow cap sleeve. But I knew it was going to be cold out. It's like, who's buying that? So I only restocked the green long sleeve. Mind you, the initial drop was September 14th. I dropped them green shirts October 12th. So you got to strike while the iron's hot. Now, me, my manufacturer, and the stuff that I'm working with, they produce stuff quickly. So when I see that a color is doing really well, I'm going to go ahead and get that color and say, run it right back up because it's selling. Like, if I could sell 30 units, I could probably sell another 30 units if it was moving fast, most likely. So definitely push content that's working, push clothes that's working, drop it again. I'm definitely looking for more local events to sell stuff at. You'd want to get really tapped into your area. People get mad at being a local brand. I don't care about being a local brand. If they support me and they here with it and I can support them right back, I'm down. So those pop-ups did well for me. 2025, I'm going to be doing more pop-ups, trying to do more solo pop-ups as well because I want to curate that whole experience. Like when you look at that rollout and the story that we're telling, I want to tell it right up into the buying experience or the shopping experience, or take the whole shopping experience out of it. I did a pop-up 2023 and that pop-up was designed to kind of be like a art exhibit. So yeah, you could buy stuff, but even if you just wanted to pull up and see what I got going on, I was taking you through a history of my brand and everything that I've done leading up to this very moment. Also, when you're small, just keep experimenting. We don't know what's going to work. So, right now, the moment that I'm in, I just did that big drop. I'm going to back off for a little bit, take that money, and I'm immediately reinvesting into developing new styles, using that money also for future marketing going forward. Don't pay yourself a dime, especially if you have a job. Don't pay yourself a dime. It's not, you don't make enough money. Let me not say that you don't make enough money. I don't know how much money you make. I don't make enough money to take any money out of the brand's money. That's just how it works. You need to keep recycling that money. Think from that point, recycle. Because the moment you start pulling from your brand's money, once it gets low, now you got to use your job's money or borrowing money, whatever the case may be. So overall, what do I give myself? I don't know, a B something. I think it was pretty good, especially for an earlier drop. Now, mind you, I've been in the clothing game and around the clothing game for a while. I've had good mentors. I've got to be in circles with people that are much bigger than me, much more successful than me, and I'm able to take those things and absorb it. 2025, I'm looking forward to meeting a whole bunch of new people that supporting the brand, getting into those same circles I'm talking about, but just expanding them. And like I said, since I'm going on a little bit of a development retreat, I'm definitely going to be on YouTube uploading more clothing type content and taking y'all behind the scenes as I'm building this thing up. I just really wanted to do this video because every YouTube video I see online is some 17-year-old talking about how I made $100,000 in one day. I'm sorry, y'all. Nicholas Akoto, I ain't make no $100,000 in a day. Now, what I did do is make $1,600 in a day. I'm officially a 4-figure brand owner. So if you want to get some tips from somebody that might be ever so slightly ahead of you, ever so slightly ahead of you, something that feels more attainable, approachable, come hang out with me. Come hang out with me. I'm going to be dropping a lot more videos like this. I literally have samples coming in the mail right now. I don't know when they're going to get here. But when those samples get here, you already know I'm going to be showing them on here. Anytime I do a photo shoot, video shoot, you're going to see behind the scenes and all kinds of stuff like that. Aside from that, if you have a question, please drop it down below in the comments. Let me know, or follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a DM or comment on one of my photos, reels, something. There's so many ways to contact me. Email, figure out a way to do it. Come talk to me. I respond. I talk. And aside from that, I hope that you learned something from this video. And most importantly, I hope y'all had a wonderful day, and I'm going to catch you in the next video.